first want to say congratulations. Congratulations. You are judges. You are now our judicial colleagues, and we welcome you. I am not going to talk to you about what I talked to the joint session of the legislature and elected executive officials and the people of Washington when I had the privilege last Wednesday to deliver the State of the Judiciary address. But I'm asking you to please watch it. You can go to the court website, courts.law.gov. It's right there, click. You can go to TVW, go into archives, boom, there we are. Or now you can even go on YouTube and put State of the Judiciary 2019 and up I pop. But you can skip, if you'd like, the 12 minutes of pomp and circumstance and the 4 or 5 minutes at the end, and just watch the 31 minutes. It's like 31.30 seconds. And you will know that I have represented to the entire state of Washington and people nationally who watch it about what we're doing in Washington and the difference we are making and how important our branch is and how we serve as a model for collegiality and civility, and how grateful we were to be invited back, having not been invited for 6 years, even though it has been a tradition for many years, to every other year give a State of the Judiciary. So I just want you to know what I am saying on our behalf to others, and the pride with which I have for our branch and the work we do and the role we play. So do that, enjoy it. But what I'd like today to talk to you about is an opportunity for me to speak to you as a group, the entering judicial class of 2018-2019. We're like a proud university that has our biggest class ever. We've recruited all of these people and we're so excited. We have all this energy and enthusiasm and experience that is coming to our judicial branch. And I want you to know that I know, and we all know, what an important role you play. We have hundreds of thousands of cases being heard every year in the state of Washington. We have so much to do. And the trial courts are where it is happening, and the courts of limited jurisdiction are actually the workhorse courts and the people's courts. Superior courts have a different subject matter, but very important. Bigger crimes, bigger money, bigger everything. But every person who comes into the court, willingly, unwillingly, in handcuffs, is there. And it is their one day in court. Now some you will recognize, and they will become more frequent visitors in court. But for many people, this is their one day in court. Now you might, if you're in a court of limited jurisdiction, you might see a couple hundred people in one day, and they're just one more person coming through. And in Superior Court, if it's motion day, you might see a number of lawyers, and now more and more pro se litigants. The lawyers you will see. The lawyers become sort of inside baseball. But the parties, the jurors, the people who come to support, or just the public who's curious about what happens in our courts, they will only see you one day. And what research shows is that lawyers and judges perceive that justice is served if they think the result or the outcome was fair. If they think the outcome was fair, oh well, that all's fine. The litigants and the general public think that justice was served if the procedure was fair. Were they heard? Were they seen? Did anyone understand this was perhaps the scariest day of their life? Did anyone understand? They don't understand Latin. They're walking into courtrooms that don't have signs that tell them where to go. They're sitting waiting and no one's telling them what's going on. You as the judges set the environment. You set the tone. And you are responsible for how you act because you are the judge. But because you are the judge, in your courthouse, you are able to impact how other people act and behave. Contempt power is a very strong power. Should be used very carefully. But who are they looking to? They are looking to you. Your court administrator, your county clerk, your interpreters, your courthouse facilitator, every person who helps you do your job to deliver justice is looking to you as to what kind of court are you going to have. When you watch the State of the Judiciary, you will know we are not a unified court system. You will learn that I get to lead only if anyone comes with me. I have no authority. I have 9 independently elected, smart, opinionated, hardworking justices. And I have 22 Court of Appeals judges. And I have 193-ish. I always look at Blaine. What's my number? He says, I don't know either. Okay. So 193. You might have today. Oh, good. I'm remembering correctly.
193 positions. They're not active.
And we're going to try to get some more funding to get those last couple months filled. We're on it. 193 Superior Court judges and 206 District and Municipal Court judges. Courts created by Constitution, courts created by legislation, courts created state legislation, local legislation. We are not a unified court system. We only go where we decide to go. You can go rogue on me. You can decide, hey, this is how I do it. That's great. You can do that. But because you are, it's your courtroom, your courthouse, you are able to impact how other people act and behave. It is important for you as the judges to stay present, to stay engaged, to stay alert and aware. Because not only are you paying attention, hopefully, to the person who's only going to see you this one day, but you're watching the courtroom, and you're watching behavior, and you're watching how people's body language is after they interact with the person at the podium, or how people are doing. And you can step in and say, are we making a difference? And I want to tell you too, it was sort of mentioned a little bit by Blaine, people are going to hook you. They're going to say, what gets me? You people. I love that. And good enough for government work, having been my entire career a public sector lawyer. And I had colleagues, who I no longer have, but who I've served with people throughout my career, and they can say that and they can hook you. And I have a choice. I can react or not react. Sometimes I can't help myself, and I realize I'm reacting. I can take a time out. I can get off the bench. Oh, excuse me, I apologize, there's an emergency. Act like you have to go to the bathroom, get off the bench. Go into the hallway, talk to someone, breathe. I do a civility course regularly with Robert's Fund. One of the things we teach is mindfulness, and it is to say, breathe in, hold for 3, breathe out. Breathe in, close your eyes when you do it. Breathe in, hold for 3, breathe out. You do that 10 times, you are going to reset. We have excellent judicial colleagues everywhere. And I'm especially familiar with Thurston County, having lived there my whole professional life. And there was a judge, now Court of Appeals Division II judge, who would actually get called in because some of the older, more established, stereotypical judges could get hooked pretty quickly. And all of a sudden now we have a situation. And they'd recognize it and they would get off and they'd ask this younger woman judge to come in. And you know what she did? She got softer. And she kept talking, but she got softer. And as she got softer, everyone starts leaning in. They're all trying to understand what's going on. And she could shift the whole dynamic. So figure out what works for you. Figure out where your comfort zone is and how you can decide what this experience is going to be for this litigant today. Each day you choose and decide what kind of judge you're going to be. Each day you choose and decide how you're going to act. It is important that you be yourself, not someone else. You have your own unique gifts and talents. Use them. I often meet with young people who are thinking about going to law school, and they say, well, I don't know if I can be a lawyer because I don't know if I have what it takes. And I'm like, what's a lawyer? Oh, well, this and that. I'm like, well, that could be a lawyer. And there are some lawyers like that. But who are you? Oh, well, if you become a lawyer, that's what a lawyer is going to be. It's going to be you. It's going to be who you are. So remember, how you act reflects on you, for sure, but it reflects on the whole justice system. And we don't need you being some stereotypical lawyer, which, by the way, half of it is to disabuse people of what judges are, what they think judges are, what lawyers are, what they think lawyers are. No, we're judges. Look at this room. Are we all the same? No. Do we want to be? No. Do we want to be independent, ethical, honest? Yes. Values, I want. Personalities are yours. Each of you is unique. You had your own life experiences. You got to where you are because of the path that you were able to have. And what you do reflects on you, and that's important. And you're ultimately responsible, and you're going to have to answer for yourself. But it doesn't only reflect on you. Because that one person who's in your courtroom, you're the only judge they're going to see. And if they have a really good judge experience, they're going to say, oh, or a juror, oh, you should do it. It's really important. It's our civic duty, and I'm so happy. Or, I lost the case, but the judge heard me. And it's 50-50. You go to court, someone's going to win, someone's going to lose. That's sort of the starting point. Someone is going to be unhappy. Someone's going to be happy. But did you hear them? Did they think they had a day in court? Or are they going out saying, God, they didn't even look at me. I was just a number that went through. No one even paid attention. I never understood what was going on. I was standing there and then I was gone. I had to pay this money and, well, it's affecting all these things. That extra seconds, I know you're working it. You're working it. You've got to get through it. Got to be efficient. That just extra second where you see them, where you tell them, where you explain one more little thing can be the thing that makes them say, well, it didn't come out the way I wanted, but I felt I was heard. The justice system was fair. The judge was in control and respectful and kind, even though I didn't know what I was doing, and I made mistakes. Some things we can't do, but you can be human. You can be empathetic. Know that the choices you make every day will determine what people think of you and what they think of justice. Justice matters. We're in the business of justice. You are going to be the face of justice. You are now stewards of justice. Justice is in your hands. Ensure that the public has trust and confidence in our justice system. Ensure that the justice system treats people fairly and respectfully. Ensure that everyone has meaningful access to our courts. Never doubt how powerful you are and the impact you can and will have. Don't underestimate that a difference all the choices you make will have on you and everyone else. As Mahatma Gandhi said, you can be the change you want to see in the world. What do we want the justice system in Washington to look like? We get to decide that. We get to decide that together. Now I hear people say it's too much, too big a problem. I can't make any difference. And I tell you, no problem, it's too big. And you can make a difference, and you do make a difference by what you do and what you don't do. And I'm going to tell you my favorite story, and some of you can just recite it along with me because you have heard it 100 times. And some of you will never have not heard this story. And a person who saw what I was thinking about saying in the state of the judiciary said, oh, Mary, you should lose that starfish story. We've all heard the starfish story. And I said, well, yeah, you have, because you have to listen to me talk all the time. And I tell it in every speech, pretty much. But the legislature hasn't heard it. And the people of the state of Washington haven't heard it. Oh, and by the way, my whole speech is about making a difference that we make together, so I'm keeping it. And you guys get to hear it tonight again. And it's the story about the person who heads down to the beach after a big storm in the morning to see what's washed up, because oftentimes things do. And standing on the bluff looking down on the shore, only one person so far. This person's taking a step or two, leaning over, throwing something into the water, step or two, leaning, oh, that's kind of weird, not just walking on the beach, and not just collecting things, and so says, gets down on the shore and can see that the shore is covered with hundreds of starfish. Catches up pretty quickly to the person already on the beach and says, what are you doing? And the person says, well, I'm throwing the starfish into the sea. If I don't, they will die. He said, there are hundreds of starfish. You can't possibly make any difference. And as the person leaned over and picked up the starfish and threw it in the sea, he said, well, I made a difference to that one. You do make a difference. We make a difference every day. And you get to decide the difference you make. Now ask yourself, which is what I ask people all the time, what would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail? What would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail? And I encourage you to do that. In your personal life, in your professional life, in your family life. And I'd like to close with two personal stories, one involving my family and one with a visiting delegation. The one involving my family was the day, about 3 weeks after a contested election, my contested election, when about 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, with the election being certified the next morning by the Secretary of State, I had won in a 3 million vote election by 3,368 votes, which was just enough not to have a recount, but not enough to know until if every other vote went to my opponent and he got it, I still would have more. And we knew that at 8 o'clock the night before it was certified. I'm the oldest of 7 children. My mom had died before I became a justice, and my dad, his last 10 years of his life, lived with me. And my youngest sister, 11 years my junior, is this still working? Can you hear me? 11 years, it sounds different to me, but my ears maybe just filled up. 11 years my junior was living in Iowa with her husband and 2 small children then. And so 8 o'clock our time, 11 o'clock Iowa time. So I call her and I say, her family nickname is Doobie, but from Romper Room, do be a good girl, don't be a bad girl, not the other Doobies. I thought he did.
Battery died.
Battery died. I guess I get a water break. Perfect. I did think it sounded differently, but can the back row hear me whispering? Still, okay. Well, I just as soon not strain and take a second if there is a battery, but if not, I'll keep going. Because I only have like 1.5 stories in a paragraph. Continue?
We're getting some batteries.
I think I'll continue and we'll see if I beat them or they beat me. So, and if you can't hear me, raise your hand and I will stop, because I really want you to hear this. So, Laura, 10 o'clock her time, 11 o'clock. Doobie, I won. What? What? Doobie, it's Mary, I won. You what? You what? You won? Oh my God, you won? Jim, you hear her husband. Wake up, Jim. Jim, she won. She won. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. What do I call you? Mary? No. What there? And I have to tell you, we're like mainly Irish and English, and Doobie's like the more English side, and some of the others are more the Irish side. So she's a little more proper, and she wants to know what to call me. And I said, Mary? No, what do we call you? I'm like, Aunt Mary? She says, no. What, is it the Honorable? Is it the Honorable? I said, Doobie, I am no more honorable today than I was yesterday. She is now awake, not happy with my answers. Says, if I were to send you a letter, how would I address it? Then I stop, and I'm like, okay, getting serious here, answer her question. And I said, well, I guess, Justice-elect. And I thought, oh my God, I am a justice. I'm going to be a justice on the Washington State Supreme Court. Now, the sequel to this story, my sister Katie, the middle child, combination Irish-English, one of her friends says to her, "Oh my God, Mary won, what are you gonna call her?" Katie says, "Mary." My next story, I'm working at the court. I've been a justice a number of years. Many groups come. Usually we know they're coming. A justice, if available, will visit with them. It's a Friday afternoon. Many people are at committee and commission work. I happen to be in the court. Call comes up from the clerk's office. A delegation of women lawyers from Turkey has arrived. And is anyone available to meet with them? Oh, sure, I'd be happy to. Down I come. And we go into the courtroom, and we have a chart in the courtroom that reflects all your levels of court. Courts of limited jurisdiction, Superior Court, Court of Appeals, and Supreme Court. And of course, a delegation of women lawyers from Turkey. I'm not going to go into the detail I would with an evergreen, graduate program in public administration. But I am saying the court, and I'm smiling, and I'm talking to them, and I'm pointing. They're not looking at the chart. And I'm still explaining, and I say, "Am I going too fast?" "Oh, no." "Do you understand what I'm saying?" "Oh, yes." Great. So I continue, and we sit in the chairs, and we go to the conference room, and I think, oh, a delegation from Turkey. I just put a splinter on my finger. Ouch. I think I'll invite them up for tea. And it was like the 3 cups of tea time when that book was out, and so come on up. Oh, they'd love to. And so like 5 or 6 of them, the group, comes up, and they sit in my office, and we make tea, and we just have a nice visit. And so our time is up, and they're going to be leaving, and I say, "Thank you so much for coming." And as we're saying goodbye, they said, "Do you know why we kept looking at you and not the chart?" And several thoughts came to mind, which probably would come to your mind, why a group of women talking to a woman justice in a courtroom might be looking at the woman and not. And I said, "Would you like to know why?" I said, "Yes." They said, "We were looking at you because we have never seen a judge smile before. And we are going to take your face back to Turkey as what the face of justice can look like." I want you to believe in miracles, for me, for you, for us, for the state. I want you to believe in yourself. I want you to be yourself. I want you to make good choices and make a difference. You're a judge now. You are the face of the justice system. You are a steward of justice. Breathe. Smile. You're going to do great. We are happy for you. We are proud of you. We are glad you are our judicial colleagues. Welcome. Offered and would like to, if you have any questions, answer them to the best of my ability. As one of my other favorite sayings is, wisdom does not reside in only one mind. And while I have some, and I can retain some, there are many people who always help me know what I know and what I don't know. And so if I can't answer them, I will let you know. I think I'll just answer the question that's probably most on people's minds that maybe you won't ask, which is about my health, because it's all out there. And it's out there because I want it out there. Well, one, because I want everyone praying or sending positive thoughts, but also because I think we need to be transparent. And I held a really important job with really important responsibilities, and people need to know how I'm doing. If you don't mind, I'll just tell my personal story. Everybody good enough to eat? Okay. In 2008, I went in because I was having, they found an abscess. This is going to be a lot of information, so if you just say, "Mary," I had an abscess in my stomach, and so I had to have a colon resection. And in that, they found I had colon cancer. And it was stage 2, so I had treatment in 2009. for 6 months of chemo, and they said, just stage 2. If it comes back, it'll come back in 2 years. They shouldn't really tell you when things come back because they seem to do that. So almost 2 years to the day, turned out I had colon cancer. Now it was not only in my colon, but it had moved up to my right inferior hilum, which is like this really special hard place to get to in your lungs by your heart. And so I had 6 months of chemo and 6 weeks of radiation because they couldn't do surgery. And the doctor, and a lot of people in my family have died of cancer, so I ask hard questions. I want to know the answers. And I said, so doctor, and he said, well, Mary, if you were unhealthy, you'd have about 6 months, and healthy about 2 years, but people are alive 7, 8 years later. I said, doctor, those are numbers for other people based on averages? I said, yeah, because those aren't going to be my numbers, because I believe in miracles. And I have to tell you, Western doctors, when you say that, they go like this. I said, that's okay, you don't have to, I just have to, and I do. And I go home to tell my family my dad had died between the first set and the second set, and I'm the oldest of 7, kind of like the matriarch, like I kind of like the mom of the court now, and very upset. And I said, I understand, kids, this is really upsetting. Kids, like in their 40s, 50s, and the grandkids. I understand this is really upsetting to you, but I want you to know I believe in miracles. And Jude Kreiderman, who worked at AOC at the time, but was a family friend because her daughter's best friend was with my oldest niece, had these bracelets made that say believe in miracles. She had 200 made for the court and for my family. That about covered it. And then before we were done at that round, we had about 3,000 people wearing bracelets and believing in miracles. But as I continued with my family, I said, I'm not telling you not to be sad. I'm asking you not to be sad around me. Why is that? Because I'm not dying, I am living. And as I tell this in many of my speeches, I said, P.S., we're all going to die. Just newsflash, just in case anyone was wondering. But the question is, how are you going to live? And none of us know how many days we have, and I'm not wasting any of my days. And so I said, talk amongst yourselves, you can be sad, get it. Not around me, because I'm not dying, I'm living. And I'm going to fake my body into believing, because I get up and go to work. And I do all these things, that I'm going to get better. And if I don't, and if I die, and at that point you want to be sad, please, go ahead. But let's not be sad now. Let's make our memories. Let's have our time. And I went, one sister, the number 5 at the 7, who's very exuberant and she just could not get her head around it. And she's just working, and I said, her name, I said, I'm here, shuffle the cards. We play a lot of cards in our family. It's like, come on. She's like, got it, I'm here, okay, you're here. And so this is why I do what I do, because I don't want to waste my days. For whatever reason, I get to be Chief Justice. Oh, how fabulous is that? Not something I sought, just something, I wasn't going to be a justice. When I was going to be a justice, 2x4 hits me in the head. Oh, because I got to run now. Didn't know if I won. I won. I'm going to be a justice. Chief Justice opportunity comes up, not thinking it's my time, not thinking, right, oh, here comes a 2x4. Oh, supposed to be now. Well, it's because this is where I'm supposed to be right now. And I have to pay attention and own it. I should have died 8 years ago. Well, 6 years ago if they gave me the 2 years. And like right now, if you do the 8 years, so thank you for 7 or 8 years, because here I am with it again. But point being, I got all these years. And I also decided, which I think is why cancer keeps waking me up but not taking me out, that I'm not afraid to die, but that I choose to live. And as soon as I'm not afraid, as soon as I don't have fear, what would I attempt to do if I knew I could not feel? I would live. I would not die. Then my body says, oh, we're not afraid to die. We'll die someday, but not today. I had to go in and have a liver biopsy. It's in my liver, it's still colon, it's in my liver and it's in my lungs, both lungs, and where it was before it's double. It's serious, guys, no doubt about it. Do this liver biopsy. He's like, oh, well, we could do this and that. And I said, doctor, and he'd worked with me before when I had the abscess. I said, well, I'm hoping I'm not going to die today, just like Blanche. She's just doing a biopsy. I said, but if I do, it's okay. I have complete confidence in you. I know you're going to do your very best, and if today's my day, I'm okay with it. But I don't think today is my day, and I think you're going to be able to do it, and I think it's going to be fine. And as I'm lying there semi-conscious during this biopsy, I kind of go like, how's it going? He goes like this. I go like this. I come out, no problem. I go home. I'm eating dinner at home. It's 6 o'clock. It's not a problem. So my point being, when I go, if you want to be sad, do. But I just assume you not be too sad, because I will have had a wonderful life. I will have done so many great things with you. You will carry on with what your life is supposed to be, your contribution is supposed to be. And I'm a person whose experience in life makes me think I'm going to be able to do more on the other side than I'm able to do on this side. And I have a whole lot of people waiting for me there who I really miss and love. But I really love you, and I want to stay here with you as long as I get to. And as long as I do, I'm going to show up every day. And the oncology nurse last time said, if you can sit up, and if you can stand up, and if you can walk, walk. And every day I walk. And he says, sometimes you might only walk to the front door. That's okay. I'm going to walk because I'm going to show up. And someday, something is going to take me. And I will have been so happy to have had this time with you, to have had the opportunity to make the little difference that I get to make with my gifts and talents and my life experiences that put me in this position today, and how I view life differently than a lot of other people do. It's okay. It's just how I view it. So I want you to know I'm well. I have chemo every other week. I go in on Friday for 4 hours. I'm on a pump for 46 hours. I unhook myself. I have 11 days off, and I do it again. There is no end to my treatment. It's not 6 months. It's not 12 months. It's for as long until I get my miracle, or it stops working. And then we're going to go to a new one, and it'll be a similar regime. And we'll do that as long as we can, till I get my miracle, or it stops working. If it stays the same or gets smaller, we're just going to keep doing it. And then we'll go to trials. And then from trials, so much time will have passed, they might have found a cure for it. Or I'm just going to be old and tired and say, I'm done. I'm going home. I'm going home to God. Love ya. So know that I am well. Know that I need you to be your best selves and show up so that we don't waste the time we have to impact the justice system in Washington. So I am well. I am happy. I believe in miracles. I have these bracelets. You're welcome to them. Take them for yourselves, your family. Unbelievably, I ordered, I'm not sick at all. I ordered 2,000 because so many people talk to me about their cancer, and I give them like 100 bracelets for their family. I'm like the little bracelet fairy. And then it turns out I need them. And it's turning out I'm gonna have to order more because everyone's gonna believe it. And they believe it for me, but I want you to believe it for you and for what you're doing and for your families. All of you are walking, carrying burdens, heartaches, illness, addictions, all the things, and you have to take care of yourself because of the role you're in, but you're also humans living. So believe in miracles. I'll close with what and I probably won't take questions because I am getting hungry, but I'll be here tonight. I really don't want to talk about the court. If you want to talk about me, I'll talk about me. Just through Instagram, a week before I did the State of the Judiciary, I saw this saying, and Albert Einstein says, there are only two ways to live life, as if nothing is a miracle or everything is a miracle. I believe everything is a miracle. You might think the fact that you're a judge now is like a miracle. It is. Own it, enjoy it, love it. Take good care of yourselves, take good care of each other. We're in this together.